Today I'm going to be taking you through a few things that I bought at the end of last month, art-wise and textile-wise, and I will be playing with those throughout this month, so stick around if you want to find out what I got. Hello and welcome back to a Kooky Corner of YouTube. I am Tori, or Kooky. I answer to both names, and it's lovely to see you. It's lovely to see you again if you're back here for another visit with me. At some point I like to upgrade some of the art materials that I'm using, or just to add in some extra colours and things that I haven't got. And I have been really enjoying the Himi gouache that I got, but I'm also getting back into my traditional gouache. That is, it comes in tubes, so I've been using that quite a lot as well, and I just wanted to delve in and grab some more colours. So let me grab this box in and I'll show you what I got. So this is a mix of two different types of gouache, or two different makes of gouache, should I say. Some of them are Holbein and some of them are Winsor & Newton. So let me divide them up into sections. So we've got the Winsor & Newtons, which are over here. I've got another one of those there. And then the rest are Holbein. I love both of these brands equally. I know some people have a preference to whatever gouache they use, but I really, really like these two brands and trust them. I will say that the Winsor & Newton tubes have slightly less in, maybe. I think these are 15mm and these are 14. Not really that much of a difference, really. So we have the Winsor & Newton. I'll go through those first because I've got less of those, and I've got a nice little selection here. So I've got a permanent white because I use white quite a lot. So I've got a permanent white in both of the brands because why not? You know, permanent white's always handy to have, good for mixing into different things. So let's have a little look. First one I got was the Brilliant Red Violet. I got the Marigold Yellow. I got Bengal Rose, which probably goes over with that one there if I'm going to be ordering them. And this one was Linden Green. It's just a really nice yellowy green that I love the colour of those, and obviously the permanent white. So I'll swatch those in a minute and I'll show you what they look like. Next is the Holbein. I have got quite a few of these already. I've got a few of the Winsor & Newtons, but I've got more of the Holbein ones already that I've had for years and years and years, and they're still going. So I know that this brand is a laster, it's a keeper. The first one is another permanent white. It's the G630. I also got Vermilion. This is part of the, I can't remember what the name of the, Iridori, that's it, the Iridori brand, the Iridori line that they've got in their gouache, which are traditional colours of Japan. So I got the G804, which is a Vermilion. Let's see if I can stick the Iridoris all together. This one is Peony, which is G872. I have got G802, which is Safflower Red. And where's the other Iridori one? This one here. Two more. This one was Leek Green. It's just a really nice green, and it's great for doing blooms and plants and things. And this is G844. And the other one I got was the Japonica Yellow, another lovely yellow colour, and that's G821. And then this is from the, I would say normal range, but you know, they're still beautiful colours. This is cobalt turquoise. This is more expensive. This was a G569. That was more expensive than the other one, so that was quite a bit more, I think, actually. This one was a G510, brilliant pink. And because I needed some darker colours in this set, I'm trying to get some browns for mixing and for animals and things. It's always handy. I know I love my brights, but I need to get some of the darker colours as well. So I've got this burnt umber, which is a G604. So let's have a little swatchy, shall we? I've got this little sheet of paper here. We'll do the Winsor & Newtons first. There's a monster there. He's from an old book that I was doing Inktober in. These are just pages from that, but I thought I'd swatch on here because it's quite nice. I've been doing some hairs at the moment, so I've been drawing lots of hairs, and we've got a spare bit here. So let me get more hairs, lots of hairs and rabbits. So let me just fold that over there. It's going to be easier to do it that way. Get some water, that'd be a handy thing to have. And I'm not going to squeeze any out onto a palette just for now. I'm just going to squeeze a bit out onto the brush. We'll just get a little dab of it onto the brush. So this is the linden green. Let me do a little swatcheroo of that. It is a very yellowy, beautiful green. I really like yellowy greens. Yellowy greens and limes are probably my favourites just because they are so bright and beautiful. I love them a lot. Get a little bit more on there. So from the tube, as opposed to the Himi gouache, you can get quite a thick layer, or you can water it down, you know, in a similar way. So I'll rinse that one off there. I will label these up, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to label them up and put them in the Facebook group as a picture so you can see the names if you're interested in grabbing any of these colours for yourself. I got, I think I got the Winsor & Newton from Bromley's Art, and I got the gouache, the Holbein gouache from Jackson's. Okay, so the next one we're going to have a look at is the Marigold Yellow, which is a beautiful orangey yellow. Just grab a bit out of there. Look at that. Very, very beautiful. I absolutely love that orange. Really, really nice. Next one is going to be I'm not going to swatch the whites. There really isn't much point swatching the whites out because you won't see them. But you just know I've got them. So that's the Bengal Rose, which is super pretty for flowers and blossoms and cheeks for rabbits. Or anything really, cheeks for anything if you want to go bright and bold. And then we have this one, which is the Brilliant Red Violet. Another lovely purpley pinky colour. Beautiful. Put some on the end of my brush. Get a little bit more. So you can see there's a difference between that and the Bengal Rose. This one's veering more towards the purples. There. So that's 4 beauteous Winsor & Newtons to add into my collection. Let's have a little look at the Holbein. I will put the white to one side. As I say, there's not much point in showing you what that one looks like. We'll do the colours that are not the iridori ones first. This is the burnt umber. It's a beautiful, rich brown, chocolatey. Reminds me of chocolate eggs. And as it's Good Friday, yeah, chocolate eggs. Oh, lovely. Okay, put the top on that one. Then we'll go with the cobalt turquoise. Rinse out my brush. I'll take you in a little bit closer in a minute when I've got them all down. I do like a nice swatching session. Something about swatching out paints to get you all itching to make something. I am currently doing the 100 Days project, which I have literally just finished all of the bunnies, and I'm now on to froggies. I'm just moved around from the bunnies to the froggies. And the froggies are lovely. I really enjoyed them. I was doing one, I went to Dartmouth yesterday and I painted a frog just on the front of the River Dart. And I may have already shown you a video of me just driving down there and the froggy in question. But if I haven't, I'll probably put some pictures up either here or in the Facebook group. If I can get them on the video, I will, so that you can have a little look at where I went to. Right, so let's do the iridoris then. I really like the sets that they have for these. They've got them in sets of seasons. So I'm supremely tempted to buy a set or two. But I have to figure out which ones I've got, because obviously the sets will have repeats in maybe. So I want to have a look, see if it's worth me getting the set or just buying them singularly, which it may be. Vermilion. Another lovely orangey colour, but it's different. It's darker than the other orange I've got. And these are going to fit in so well with the colours that I've already got, so that is just going to be a joy. Yeah, that's veering more towards the red for that one. Talking of reds, I've got safflower red, which is a beautiful red. It's just lovely. And grab a little bit of that on my brush. Oh, look at that. That is really nice. And that's got hints of pink in it. It's that this veers towards the pink rather than to the oranges. So I've got a nice little variety there, and they'll all mix up as well, so you can mix them together to get different shades. And the white is important then, because you can get pastel colours of any of these and in varying degrees. Let's go to the peony next. Oh, I love these colours so much. Give that a bit of water. Oh, look at that. It's darker than the Bengal rose, so it is a darker shade. It's got real depth to it. It's lovely, lovely colour. It's that one. And then the last one is this beautiful leek green. Now this mixed with the whites and yellows makes some other beautiful green colours, so looking forward to trying those out. Oh, look at that. That is lovely. I mean, I say I love my lighter greens, but you know what? I'm having a love affair with the green at the moment. This must be all the frogs I've been looking at. I've been looking at lots of frog pictures in order to do my froggies. And yeah, I am falling in love with the green a lot more. So that's all of the gouache I've got. I'm going to label these up with names on, and I will put this in the Facebook group for anybody who's interested to see which colours I got. Obviously I did mention them before, so you might have got it from that, but I'll write this down just as a handy dandy little guide for anybody who's interested in what I got. The next section of things that I've been into and making purchases for is traveller's notebooks. I've suddenly had an obsession for making my own traveller style notebook. I know they come in a variety of sizes, and the first one I did, I knocked up from some vinyl that I had already in stock, and this is a felt which has a fabric attached to it. So I made myself a cover from that. They've both been blanket stitched together and glued together as well. And then I put some little holes in for my notebooks and little strings to attach. If anybody's interested in how I did this, I mean, there are plenty of videos out there that will show you how to put these together. If you're interested to see how I did mine, then I'm really happy to do a little video showing how I put it together. But the basics of these are really simple, you know, really nice to do as well. And the vinyl is lovely. It's a beautiful vinyl, and this felt made everything simple because it's nice. It stiffens up the fabric for one thing, and it doesn't all fly around and you don't get stringy edges on it, which is what I wanted. It's fastened together. You know I'm going to go bright, so the blanket stitches in a Wonderful Eleganza thread, which I went round it all with, and I bought some of this beauteous, oh my gosh, throwing it all over, elastic in neon-y kind of colours, which is just right up my street. I got that from Amazon, a big roll of that. I think there's 40 meters on there. So that's going to be good to go for a few more of my makes. And that is the bit that holds the books in. So the little wires that hold the bits in. There. I made that one myself just out of some card and some cartridge paper. It's only a small little notebook, but it's handy for me to take out, and when it's full I can replace it with something else. So, and these are going to be easier to store than the big sketchbooks, etc. And then I've got this little notebook. This is it's a Clairefontaine one, and it's got printed with these beautiful flowers on the front, and I thought that went in there quite nicely. So that was that, but then I thought I want to make it a leather one. I've got this in the vinyl, and I think on the Traveller's Notebooks, the little protector piece that goes on there, I'm going to add one of those into this at some point, but I'm going to do it properly on my, on my leather ones, and I bought myself some leather. So this was from, I just looked on eBay and got some leather in two beautiful bright colours. And I think the other thing that I had a problem with the Traveller's Notebooks is they don't do them in bright colours. They're all in like traditional browns and blacks, and I think they probably do some bright colours, but the ones I've seen, that I haven't been able to find anything that I actually want. So I thought, do you know what, I'm going to make my own. So I've got this lovely marigoldy yellow. You can see I'm into my oranges and yellows at the minute. I don't know if you can see that. It's beautiful orange. Sorry about the shine and reflection, but I'm keeping them in here to keep them nice and safe. And this will go with that as well. So I am going to have a go and make some more. Now, a problem I came up against was when I was making my notebooks. The eyelets that I had to put in for the top and the bottom, great, fine, no problem. I've got a crocodile. An old traditional crocodile, the one that's a handheld one. Well, when it came to the centre one, I had to bite the bullet. And so, because I tried so many different ways of setting eyelets in, I can't even tell you. And this is the most reliable thing that I have bought that works perfectly. I've just knocked it on the floor. No, it's just fallen on its side. But it is the Crocodile 2, the Big Bite. So I have invested in one of these. It was on a really great deal. I think they usually go for about £60 sterling. But this was like 32 or something like that. So I thought, I'm going to have to get it. I'm going to have to buy one. And I did. And this is going to come in really handy when I do my leather ones as well, because I think this will go through leather quite easily. And I got myself some eyelets while I was at it. So, yeah, it was a bit of an expensive month. It's all well worth it. You have to, you have to invest into your pieces. And so I've been hankering after one of these for a while, and I've been putting it off because I've been thinking I don't need one because I've already got the other crocodile, which has been perfectly fine for what I've needed it for. But when you want to get to the middle of pieces, I don't know if I've got the other one around with me that I can show you. I don't. It's only got a small area that you can actually insert something into. It's a bit like staplers, when you've got staplers and you've got a short stapler and then you find that you can't get to the centre of an exercise book or something. So you need to get a long handle stapler. It's the same kind of thing with a crocodile. I would say though, if you're going to get one, go for this one rather than the other one, because this will obviously do any size. Well, it won't do any size, it's a certain amount. It will go to the middle of a 12-inch piece of paper, so that's quite ample for me for what I need it for. The other one's only got like a small area. It's good for doing tags and things like that, but yeah. Bit the bullet and got myself a crocodile too, so that's going to be so handy for when I am making my leather ones. And last but not least, onto a few books that I bought, both art-wise and textile-wise, because here I do the both of them. Mix them up, we mix and match. I don't know if you've ever heard of this magazine, but it is fabulous, and it's fabulous for one specific reason. It's all about outsider art, and it's called Raw Vision. I think it's published in the UK, but they send it to all over the world. It is the most fabulous magazine if you want to know about outsider art, and I have got a few copies that I've had a while back, and then just recently I purchased this one and this one because I really, really wanted to catch up on what's going on in the world of Art Brut. So I'll just give you a little flick through so you get, I love this for a start. And it's a guy called Leroy Johnson who makes all these beautiful scenes out of cardboard, and they are absolutely amazing. I think they're fabulous and very inspirational for a lot of people that I know who will find this very interesting. And I love the idea of trying to create your local scenery and build it up. But there's a whole article there. I've yet to read these properly through, so I've got a lot to look at. But I am completely fascinated and love self-taught artists who bring their own idea to things. So well worth a look. So both of these, this is issue 124 and this is issue 125. Look, I mean, these are just glorious. I mean, if you're interested in this kind of thing, these two books are just so inspiring, really, really inspiring. So Raw Vision, check that out if you're interested. Really good magazines to do with outsider art. Fabulous. Next, I think I've got 3 books. This one is Hand Painted Textiles, a practical guide to the art of painting on fabric. I have been doing a little bit of this month. I'm looking at all ways of kind of manipulating or working on fabric to use that as a medium. So I thought I would grab this. It's Sarah Campbell by Herbert Press. And I'll just give a very quick flick through a few of the pages. I mean, a silk jacket that's been hand painted. I love that. Painting on silk, but painting on silk in a creative and wearable way. And I don't know if you saw my things that I wanted to do this year. It's also in my personal curriculum to create a piece of wearable artwork, which I am working on in the background when I have some moments, and that's still there, and I've still got plans for that, probably in the next month or so. So yeah, working on silk. Again, we've got so many beautiful pictures in here that illustrate it perfectly. So using stencils, Yeah, lots of different ideas of how to get your visions onto fabric and different ways of doing that. So paint and ink, fabric paint, silk paint, it's all in there. Lots and lots of beautiful, beautiful pieces of artwork. I love that. You see, this is the kind of thing I'm looking into is I want to create some kind of a coat. So I've been looking into that and other books that I've already got to try and pull something together along those lines. Anyway, that's Hand Painted Textiles, A Practical Guide to the Art of Painting on Fabric by Sarah Campbell. Next one is an older one. This is a second-hand book that I got. It's by Maggie Gray. I've got a lot of books by Maggie Gray, and it's Textile Translations, Mixed Media. So let's have a look on the back. It's an inspiration to mixed media to take your work to another dimension. So incorporating new materials such as grunge board and liming wax into your work, working with Tyvek, paper modelling, stamps and stencils, using paper with the embellishing machine. Very interesting. I've got, as I say, a few other books by Maggie, and I love her work and looking at how she uses things. But this one was 2008, I think this came out. So looking at rocks and surfaces, fossils, wall paintings, using sketchbooks to record down your information. There's visual beauty in here, I tell you, looking at all these things. Handmade paper and gesso. So many. Oh, I love this so much. Absolutely love it. So making gesso tiles, gesso and polycotton, soldering gesso. That's something I was going to look into as well, because I've got a soldering iron to try and work and figure out with. But look at this. I mean, it's just so beautiful. Making vessels. So fossil fish, that's that, but that's a close-up of it. Look at it, it's so lovely. So how to try all these different methods and methods of recording it down. Can't even think who the publisher is of this. But look, see, Fox Print Services. So it's part of Maggie's D for Daisy group. And I managed to pick this up secondhand from World of Books. So I'm very happy about that, to grab hold of that one. And the next one is a Batsford book. You know, if you've been here for any length of time, you know I just love those Batsford books, and they've got that beautiful. Some people don't like it, the soft fabric-y texture of the books. I love it. I could sit and stroke this for hours. But this is specifically about interpreting themes. So when you've got an idea of something that you want to make and a theme to your work, it kind of makes things a little easier because you've got something to work towards. And I do like to get themes into my pieces. And this is by Els van Baal and Sherilyn Martin. And again, it's another one I want to sit down and a nice cup of coffee and have a little good peruse of this one. This was printed in 2017, so it's not that old. And this is basically about how these two artists work towards producing their pieces to a specific theme. Mind mapping I have used for years and years and years, and I've got loads of books on mind mapping. I've got about 5 books on mind mapping because I used to use it at school as well. Obviously, it's a great way of getting ideas down into a mind map. But yeah, how to use composition, colour contrasts, meaning of colours, and then we get into the specifics. So graven images, so it's using like stone rubbings from different places. Especially graveyards. I mean, that's one place you can go and get some rubbings from the gravestones and things. So it's how these two artists work with the the theme that's given to them. So walls are an infinite inspiration. So getting some rubbings off different walls as you go around. Graffiti is also an inspirational thing. So make your own graffiti tag. But it's just lots and lots of information that I wanted to go along with my piece of creative wearables, and I'm thinking that this is going to work really well with that. And also I was absolutely drawn to the Leporellos, which is like the folded paper books. This is something that I want to have a go at in the future as well. I've got so many things on my list. I need more years added on, please. So found objects and books. I love using the idea of books as a way of being a sculptural piece as well as just being a book of information. But yeah, that is the last book on my list. So I hope you've enjoyed this little look through purchase. I thought, as it's Easter, it's Good Friday, I thought you might just want to have a little peruse of some of the things that I have been getting into this month. I will be back here on Sunday for the Cozy Art Club. It will be a nice cozy Easter Sunday art club. And I'll be back again with something else next week. So if you would like to like and subscribe, that would always be very appreciated. The thumbs up shows YouTube that you're interested and in the videos that I put out. And if you subscribe, it doesn't cost you anything at all. Again, it's another indicator to YouTube that you are enjoying what I'm doing here, and it pushes it out to people who are also might be interested as well. Anyway, that's enough from me. I will be back here, as I said, very soon with something else. Bye for now.